Welcome, friends. Today, we are doing another live stream. My giddy aunt. How are you? I am fantastic, and I am doing really well. I hope you are also fantastic and doing really well. Oi! Welcome, Mitra K. How are you? I am okay. Welcome, Dushan. I am okay. I hope you are all okay. I hope everything is fantastic for you. Where is my live? Okay, it's not here. I can't change my... Why can't I change my... That's not very good. Let's go to home. Oh, bollocks. I can't be bothered. We'll do that later. Where is my live? Hello, James. Hello, Peo Benson. Hello, Christina. I hope everybody is fantastic and doing really well. My scent of the day. My scent of the day is Muzak for a while. I hope you are all... I was told I smell like a grandma today. I thought, James would be fucking pretty chuffed with that. You know, he'd come and sniff me. Maybe he would touch me. Yes. Where is live streams? It's been a hell of a week. Hell of a week. Anywho. Oh. Let us see. Hello, Tam10. Hello, James. I need to get the actual stream up on my phone, of which I am struggling because technology is against me in the harshest of terms. Where are we? Okay, Peel Benson, hello. That charming man is wearing a Scallon Indonesi. Drop out, welcome. Mitra's here. Beavis Bonds, how are you? It's Daddy Bear. Yay, says Beavis Bonds. Welcome, Vauxhall Jim. Welcome, Jared Wilson, who was wearing Fahrenheit 32. Interesting. I was talking about that the other day. Who was I talking to? I think that was one... Was it Fahrenheit 32? It was either Fahrenheit 32, right? Or Roadster. Anyway, my first experience of discontinuation, right, was Fahrenheit 32. I'm sure it was. And it was long before I knew anything about such matters, right? And I went into the shop. I'd been wearing it. I'd bought a couple of bottles and I'd worn them both. I went into the shop to buy another one. It was gone. And I was like, oi, where the fuck's me fucking Fahrenheit 32? And it was gone. And that was my first initiation, experience, my first partaking of the old, what's it called? Discontinuation, you know? Tam 10, welcome. Oh yeah, man, the chat feature on this phone is fucking... This phone started to give out on us, like. T2 sugars. Speaking of sugar, I've just had some chocolate. Antonio Hobson is wearing green Irish tweed. Welcome, Divine. You're wearing Hachivat Oud, my favourite bug spray. Vauxhall Jim is wearing Cologne Indelible. I had that and I sold it. I don't regret it. I don't regret it. I'll tell you something, I've sold 4 perfumes, maybe more, in the last 24 hours. Ooh, itchy back. It was good stuff. It's always good stuff. I did just sell something though, so I'll have to review this tomorrow. Maybe it's even tonight before I go to sleep. Where the fuck have I put it? Where have I put it? Where is it? Oh! I don't actually know where I've put it, friends. It's gone. Vamooshed. Disappeared. Departed. Fled. Left. Extinct. It's got to be in here. I've fucking sold it, man. Got to have it. What's that? That's not it. It would appear that it has gone. Oh, I know where it'll be. It'll be over here. Hopefully this doesn't pull this off. Oh no. Well. Oh shit. It's gone dark. Help. Everything's gone to fuck. I'll have to look for that another time, I think. Oh dear. We're on the floor. Oh. Sorry, friends. A suitably chaotic opening. You know? Oh. Oh. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. So, does that work for you? Is everything okay there? Is it straight? Everything kind of turned to shit. Anyway. We are back. Just. Do you know, I think I fucked that. See, Rush is wearing his Russian Mafia sweatpants. They are my tracksuit bottoms. This is what I wear when I'm chilling in the house. Welcome, Tool. They just feel very, very... They just feel very, very comfortable, you know. This is the dark con. Love Mem. Bogway Mem T2 is wearing. Doing well, Antonio. You are my Klutz twins, says Mitra. Hi, Tool. I think I have a concussion from that fall. You cannot sue. You cannot get blood from a stone. Yes, I have those too, says Waffle. Where am I? I need to find this ebony now because I'm feeling a bit spooked by the fact I can't see it. Where the fuck? Oh, there it is. It's the first one. I've sold this. Very interesting perfume. Very interesting perfume. Smells good. Smells nice. Just never wore it. I mean, when was the last time you heard me like wearing this? Just never. You know. Just never. Never did. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. Pack up your bags. Oh! Duck is dressed from an early 2000s Guy Ritchie movie. That is my style, and if you wait long enough, it'll come back into fashion. You know? Yeah, those two Duck is dressed. Did he have a shirt on? He never has one on. I have one on because we're in public today, you know? There we go. Is that better? I think I've kind of fucked the screen a little bit. There we are. Hello. Christina says, imagine him being halfway naked like in those YouTube videos during online interviews. Get my buns out. That's right. Oh. Dreamy. I wore music for a while today, and one person said it smelled absolutely amazing, and another person said I smelled like their grandmother. So what the fuck is going on with them people? You know? Clearly they do not know. I've seen that the Les Indomptables I've seen that the Les Indomptables extrays have become available. I think they're €95 on their website. The 100ml Vanille Havane is 320 quid, which is brilliant pricing, in my opinion. I think they'll sell bottles of that hand over fist. It's a much more accessible price because it's like 100 quid cheaper than if you bought two 50mls, you know? So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm going to buy them. I just don't know when. I imagine they have a new perfume coming out this year. I'd like to try it. I don't know what it's going to be like. I have to see it with my eyes. I've seen the massive legs, Christina. We would not be disappointed, says RN. Like the stream on the way in, friends, says Dropout. Oh, I just remembered. If anybody wants to buy me a cafefe. The only grandma scent I've smelled is arpege extra. Grandmas are cute, but not when a man smells like one. Yes, 90% of the time I am the grandma, says Dropout. Tool says people absolutely have different takes on the same scent. Yeah, it's madness. It's crazy, the wildly differing opinions on the same thing. It's absolutely bonkers. It just goes to show, you know. It's crazy. What does music smell like? It smells like lavender and pineapple. Personally, I don't like wearing Eau de Magnolia, but my mum loves it when I wear it. Now I don't know what to wear. Vintage opium is grandma, says Germs. I got a portrait of a lady. In mail, says Mr. K. In the mail? Franska Boy says, hey guys. Just had my first Diaghilev because I'm stupid. It's 580 on Beauty Now. Should I be even more stupid and back it up? I don't know. That's up to you. It's your money. But it's a lot of money. You know? Are you ever going to find it cheaper? Maybe. Maybe not. Mitra's no buy is going well, says James. Mitra's no buy is for the books, says Christina. Music for a while is incredible. I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. I'm reading comments about Marasquilia by Santa Maria Novella, says Dushan. Oh, France, good boy. Just buy the legit Mitsuko. It's good advice, to be fair. I got 10 bottles in the 500 to 600 euro tier, says Divine. Spinster Long, says, hi, Rich. Is the incense an incense rose similar to Incense Extreme? No, actually, I don't think it is. I was going to buy Incense Extreme based on Incense Rose until I actually smelled Incense Extreme. Incense Extreme smells like somebody poured fucking, like, petrol on the incense to light it. That's what it smells like. The incense in this is much more well-behaved. Much, but still raw. It's still present. It's still incense. It's still strong, potent. Not harsh, but it's still there. But it's much more well behaved than Incense Extreme, which is just a fucking batshit perfume. You know, it's absolutely fucking bonkers. I'd bought it a long time ago. It was waiting to be shipped, says Mitra. Fiji by Guy Laroche is grandma, says Tamtan. I've said that before, says James. Got your points. Thanks for your return, says France. Good boy. Mitra is trying to convince us that somehow she is still on a no-buy, says Waffle. I agree, Incense Extreme is strange for me. So harsh. So harsh, literally smells like petrol, and it's not like the pleasant aspect of petrol either. It's like the raging black soot up your nose from hydrocarbons kind of thing. It's really harsh, very odd. His oud as well. His oud smells like rubber. Like do you know when you go to get your tires changed at a car, like the tire factory? It smells like a tire factory. So it smells like. It smells like where they store all the tires when you go to get your tires changed. It's mental. It is all power of suggestion, says Mitra. As long as she believes it, says Christina. I am manifesting that I can be on a no-buy, says Mitra. No mention of the accountant anymore. Vanushed. Scent of the night is Girl on Homme au Boisé, says Nino Slav. Welcome, Nino Slav. The accountant is long gone. He is under the patio. Tool says, Incense Rose is amazing, but Tao has so many great perfumes. Lone Star would be my favourite. I oscillate between different ones. At the minute, I am absolutely loving that Incense Rose. It's incredible. I got the Tower DNA came through the other day. You know? Like, it smelled like an Andy Tower perfume, that kind of warm, slightly spicy, vanillic sort of thing. Ooh, speaking of vanilla, I tried Bengal Rouge on my hand today, along with Tobacco Rose by Papillon, and oof, it turned into a very pasty, creamy, overly vanillic vanilla, if that makes sense. There's no guarantee that it did make sense, you know. Madness. I just need to take a couple of tablets, if you will excuse me. Okay. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. I'm back. I've also dined on tuna salads, Slav. Interesting work. I don't know why the light is the way that it is. I don't like it. Maybe it should be brighter. I don't know how to light things. I've got one one lamp here, which isn't great, I'm not going to lie to you. Pappy Lion, says Mitra. Did you try Salome yet? Can't wait to put my nose on it. No, not yet. Mitra says, I am going to die of OCD. Roman, welcome to you. You are wearing Acne Studios. Are you a fan? Papillon Salome reminds me of Chanel number 5. Says Tool. OCD'd from not buying, says Christina. RN says, ban Tool for that irreverent comment. Where are the samples that I have to go through? Oh no. Here they are. I've got Epona. I've got Dryad, Salome, and Anubis. They're the ones that I've got. I'll be doing them soon enough. Maybe Saturday, maybe next week. I don't know. Salome is very animalistic, but in my opinion, a definite female fragrance. Caravaggio would love the chiaroscuro of your room, says Duchamp. I fucking love number 5, Goldman by Amouage being my favourite because it looks like Chanel number 5 without the vanilla. Do you know, it wasn't Goldman, it was called Gentleman's Cologne. And it was the original release from the house. And then they changed it to Goldman. I always felt that was a female fragrance. I really did not care for that. It was beautiful, but not for me. Every time you say Papillon, something dies inside me, says Mitra. Stop dying inside. Tool, the comparison with number 5 was way wilder on the verge of insanity, says RN. As always, brilliant. I always thought Goldman was the first. Well, it turned into Goldman. It was called Gentleman's Cologne, and then it turned into Goldman. So I find that quite interesting. You know? I really love Acne, says Roman. It's so easy to like, and it makes me a bit happier each time I wear it. Well, that's the main thing. That is the main thing, you know. I wonder if that's any better. I think it is a bit better, isn't it? Do you like the way says Sevilla la Robe? Apotheca Tepe, Kogan from a sample, says Andrej. Duchamp, thank you. That's what I will wear today, says James. He's going to wear Sevilla la Robe. I am burning my candle, friends. I have moved on to this one. We're in the full height of spring now, so I am burning Fruit de Lavande. Fruit de Lavande. Fruit. I spotted a 5-ounce bottle of Terre au Givre at Marshall's for $100. Worth it? I'm not a fan of Au Givre, to be honest with you, but that's a lot of perfume for $100. Like, Dropout says, where is Doobie Scabigle? Don't know. Welcome, Jordan. What else did you sell? Sold some backups. Sold this bottle of Ebony. Sold a very slight partial of Feeling Agile for 120 quid. I'm telling you, it must have had about 20 mils left. Not even 20 mils, like between 15 and 20 mils in. And then I sold a couple of sealed backups of some Sir Gloutons I've got. I was just looking yesterday and I was like, fuck, I've got a lot of these. You know? So they went. Oh God, what else? Yeah, that's it so far. But I put a lot of stuff up for sale yesterday. A lot, you know. I put up my vintage vetiver by Guerlain, the gold cap or silver cap. It's either 1988 or 1998. It's the pre-2000 relaunch. So they relaunched it in 2000, right? And the previous is much darker and smokier. Much darker and smokier. And I'm not a massive fan of that kind of vetiver. And then the 2000s version, it's much lighter. It's much more mentholated, fresher, greener, happier, outdoorsy. So only your soul is left. No, I sold that years ago. Sandra says, hello, everyone. Hello, Sandra. How are you? Justin says, I disagree with most. How about Anna Malik? I disagree with most about how Anna Malik Salome is, but I agree that it's quite feminine leaning, says Justin. Jared says, Rich, where do you keep your backup bottles? Do you have a closet or something to keep them in? Yeah, I've got it's because I live in the Northern Hemisphere, I've got like a north-facing bedroom, and in that it's got some inbuilt wardrobes, and they're in one of them. You know, they're in one of them. So they're very much in one of the coldest rooms in the house that doesn't change temperature, like basically ever, unless you put the heating on. We've actually got the radiator turned off in that room. And then it is in a dark cupboard as well. Oh, excuse me. Ralph Jenkins, welcome to you. I love music for a while, but I prefer to smell it than wear it, strangely. I know exactly what you mean. I seem to struggle to pick an occasion for it. What occasion best suits it best for you? So, music for a while. I think this is actually quite casual. Spring, I think music for a while is for. You can wear it in summer. It's quite thick. The pineapple can become quite syrupy in the summer, you know, thick and rich and dense. But in the spring, it's brilliant. That caramel as well. You've got to be careful of the caramel because that'll become quite sweet and, you know what I mean? But I love this shit. I think it's fantastic. Like, it's very strange. Very, very strange, you know? But I really like it. I know what you mean about smelling it. There's a candle by Frederick Malle called, I think it's Cafe Society, and it's basically music for a while. It's music for a while candle, you know. Tam 10 says, are you selling a Ketos? Wow, I'm selling a 50ml of a Ketos that I've got, you know. So there's a 50ml, slight partial. The fill level is as shown. So if you want it, I think it's 120 quid. It's got a detachable sprayer on it. How intriguing. But I've got plenty of Akitos. I've got plenty of Akitos. That 50ml I don't need, you know. I really just bought that off Ramsey, like, so I could get some money in his pocket, like. Somebody's talking about setting up a GoFundMe for Ramsey, actually. I don't know. I keep telling him that if he needs to sell his perfumes, he should do it on his Discord, because then he'd sell them hand over fist. You know, he'd sell loads of them if he needs to. But he has not done it yet. So that, to me, that kind of leads us to think that really he doesn't want to sell his perfumes at all. That's the last thing he wants to do. So I think he's looking at other ways of raising the money. So if somebody on his Discord, I might speak to Noah actually about setting up a GoFundMe on his Discord page. But he's a proud man. I don't think he wants to. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he wants to. I wouldn't want to either. Nobody wants to ask for help. What the fuck is this phone doing? Stop your nonsense, phone. Stop it. What do we have here? How do we stop you from making these unusual noises? There we go. There we go. Friends, if you would like to like the stream, please do not let me stop you. Please like the stream. Thank you. Kitos is your favorite Jasmine? Yes, but it's not a crowded field, you know. Tool says, Justin, it was very, very sexy. Takes a confident woman to wear, but the animal part, I can't agree with you, says Tool. He doesn't want any money. I wanted 10 bottles from him, says Mitra, and haven't heard back. Well, that kind of backs up my claim that I don't actually think he wants to sell anything, you know. I don't think he wants to sell anything at all, like, you know. Oh! I mean, he might need to, but he doesn't want to, because he could have by now. He's got some extremely saleable stuff, you know. So, who knows? We're speculating, friends. We are speculating. And we shouldn't really, because we don't know the full story. Well, I kind of know, but I'm not gonna be making the information public, because it's not my information to make public, and I don't know what he wants made public. But I do know there is somebody out there who very kindly sent him some money yesterday, and they think we should set up a GoFundMe, which I'm not opposed to. You know, I don't think he's the type of person to ask for you to do that. But I also know that he's not in a good way. So perhaps I shall message Noah, because I know it was Noah who set up Ramsey's. It was Noah who set up Ramsey's Discord. Ah! So we will see. Thank you. Yes, I think half my worry is as well as wearing it and being quite polarizing for others. Yes, if that's a concern that you have, then maybe be careful, because I got two wildly differing opinions on it today, which I thought was quite fun. One of the people who said they really liked it doesn't like the smell of lavender, which I thought was quite funny, because it's got a massive lavender note on me. Don't blame him one bit, says Jones. Welcome, DJ. T2 Sugar says, I like the Ram, miss him dearly. Divine says, I like the stream if you pull out some Zerge off. Don't have any Zerge off. Don't intend to pull it out. I don't know where I'd pull it out from. Let's summon Pradeep, says James. Haven't heard from Pradeep for a while, actually. I think he might be busy, like. Marl is overrated, says James. What's the situation, says DJ. Not that much, I'm just streaming, mate. Lighting a candle, so it smells like lavender in here. And then I have a perfume that I've sold, Ebony. And I have my scent of the day, which is Muzak for a while. Prada takes over. Versace, what does that mean for the fragrances? Well, they probably couldn't get any worse, so nothing. Eugene said he's running low on Bel Arm. Better get your backups, Rich. I'll make more. I think it's his bestseller. Like, he was talking about how Desandra was one of his bestsellers, but think I always thought it was going to be Bellarme, you know? I always thought it was because fucking Iris is a big, big thing these days, you know? It's got that waxy, rubbery note thing going on, latex. Well, excuse me whilst I summon my wrench mate, says Germs. Eugene said he's running low on Bellarme. I want a report on my desk, damn it, by the end of the day, says Mitra. I can't write reports. Situation. Shite. Love Rich. Which fragrance would you associate with spring more? Something green like Synthetic Jungle or something soft musky like L'Eau d'Hiver? So they are two of the malls I don't own. I don't like Synthetic Jungle. L'Eau d'Hiver's nice-ish. But I would say probably Synthetic Jungle because green, it's spring, isn't it? You know what I mean? That's what spring's all about. So loads of lambs today. Very fresh lambs. Small and not very good on their feet. And I was like, lambs. And they were going, bah. And I was like, whoa. I bet you're feeling rather sheepish. Don't want to be rude, but I don't. But I won't send money to someone who keeps their luxury items. That's just strange, says Mitra. Well, there's two ways of looking at it. Yes. The luxury stuff should be the first thing to go in usual cases, but I think that as far as we are concerned, the fragrances mean more to us than they do to most people. You know? Most people would just be like, right, I can sell that, get rid. Plus, he's got a lot of rare and vintage stuff, which is difficult to replace. You know, once that's sold, it's not coming back. And we bought them at the best time to buy them, like. So it's a large part of his identity, you know. Bobby in the house, welcome. Well, welcome, Bob. Calling Mall overrated as a compliment to Mall, says Divine. Flying Hawaiian. Piss poor Brian, says Divine. This coming from a man who buys fucking Clive Christian, by the way, so let's not get carried away here. I'm resisting on that backup of Diaghilev, but I'm not sure for my fourth Balenciaga pour on. I mean, I resisted. I just asked the order to be cancelled. Thanks for putting my mind back on track. Have you had a chance to get your nose on that bottle of Amouage you showcased a few weeks ago? Yes, I've smelled it plenty times. It's sitting waiting for the autumn and the winter. That is when I shall wear it. You can probably wear it at the minute because it's cool spring days, you know, so you could probably get away with it, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna wait until autumn. That's where it's gone. Well, Brian. Who would have thought that statement would summon Proudy? Bellarme, oh my god, definitely the best Iris, says Tool. I really love that Ebony de Balmain ADT and the aftershave too. Next week I will break perfume no buy streak, says DJ. What will you buy? Bellarme's a bit sweet for me, says Roman. Divine says Franska. That's probably good. I have a bunch of expensive bottles and many of the more showstopper style scents that I almost never get to wear. That is a problem with these amazing fragrances that are like a little bit too good to wear, like with what I'm wearing today. Tracksuit pants and a fucking white t-shirt. You know? Like, sometimes you go to wear something like Jubilation 25 and you're like, ooh, I smell incredible, but I don't look as incredible as I smell. You know? I feel a little underdressed. I love the guy, but his takes are, I don't know, a little too much for me, says Tool. Who are we talking about? That's correct, but they are not essential items. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Clive Christian is embarrassed by Frederick Malle, says Divine. Perfumes are perfumes that will not replace a place to live. No, you're right. But there's logic and there's feeling. These are two clean different things, and they're very hard to split when it's you that's in the middle of it. Frederick Malle fans think it's cool to smell like a musty homeless man. I see nothing wrong with that statement. Alex McKay says, got my 2 bottles of Balenciaga from customs the other day. Can see why you have a gazillion bottles, Rich. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Or a bar of Irish Spring. That's Mugler Cologne. Mugler Cologne and Original Vetiver and sort of Green Irish Tweed to an extent. Oh, excuse me. Franska says, I'm a victim of FOMO. Yeah, I used to be as well. After a drink or two, some PayPal 4 times easy to shoot. Yes. Welcome, Tim. Welcome, everyone. Mitra, by that logic, your no-buy should have been a success. Shit gets too expensive. Everything gets too expensive. Everything's so fucking expensive. That's one thing we can all agree on. The price of perfumes these days is fucking despicable. You know what I mean? There's going to be a collapse if they're not careful. The industry's going to grow and grow and grow, but it's all going to be the fucking, like, the Middle Eastern clone houses and the Middle Eastern fucking shit houses that make fucking crap perfumes that just smell of amber wood and alleged rose and amber wood and alleged vetiver, amber wood and alleged fucking anything you want, you know? It's not going to be like early Amouage. Do you know what I mean? Amouage was quite a trailblazer, actually, in a lot of ways, showing that Eastern perfume house or Middle Eastern perfume houses could cut through to the Western audience, you know? Hello, welcome Justice Doe. Centre of the day is Roger Danger Parfum. There's been a few shouts for Roger this evening, actually, hasn't there? Rich, is that black ebony sprayer older than the gold one? Think so. I think the black one's the original one. It's just I just don't care for it, like, you know, just don't care for it, like. Ebony. It's, I mean, oh, has anybody ever bought anything off Gum Road? There's a website, I think, in America called Gum Road, and I'm intrigued. Ebony. Released in 1983, mint aldehydes. Yeah, it's a big piney fucking carnation oak moss thing. And it is, you get that big vintage pine fragrance thing coming through. If the taxman takes over my house, please don't send me money until I have sold my last bottle, says Mitra. Have you heard about the new Les Indomables extras? Yes, I'm going to buy them. I just don't know when. Like, I need to replace my lost funds. I may or may not have spent a lot of money last week, so. Gum Road, yes, that's right. There's a place there's a shop in There's a place, it's like an online website, so I just want to know that it's not fake, like, you know. Right, Gumroad. He's a hardcore collector. He won't sell the perfumes he don't like too, just not the rare stuff. I think he would sell everything. That the perfumes kind of feel bad for the situation he is. I think I would struggle. I would want to sell other things before my perfumes. You know, I think he's, personally, and I'm speculating here, I don't know this, right, but I think he's trying to not sell the perfumes, you know, because they bring him great joy, you know. And what's he supposed to do as far as the channel's concerned if he sells all these perfumes? It's a large part of his life. Think of all the time and effort and the videos he's made and stuff like that, you know? So I have sympathy a lot. I understand what Mitra's saying, though. I do. Yeah, he is not having a good time of it, friends. It's going to be at least the middle of the year before he comes back. So you're talking at least another 2 to 3 months. So if anybody wants to know, that's what it's going to be at the earliest. You know, he's got shit that he needs to do first. Tool says, too much knockoffs, too much Middle Eastern. I don't want to smell another oud again. I don't care if it costs $2 million. Get that shit away from me, says Tool. Yeah, I agree. There's too many fakes. There's too many clones. There's too much of this kind of style of fragrance, which we are now calling Middle Eastern, that I personally, I don't like the smell of. I like French smelling perfume. Italian perfumery is probably my favourite. I like the way the French actually make them. The English perfume, I'm not such a big fan because they usually smell quite starchy. They're usually just fresh, clean things, you know, with a musk in the base. But I like this, like the fragrances you see before you, basically. And don't get us wrong, I've got a couple of Middle Eastern perfumes. A couple of Middle Eastern style perfumes, but they're just not for me hugely, if I'm being honest. Also, I have that association of amber wood with oud. That's what they call oud. They just put a fucking wallop of amber wood, right, and call it oud, and it's not. And it's not fair on the Middle Eastern brands. Well, it's not the Middle Eastern brands. It's not fair on the Middle Eastern perfumes because that's not what oud smells like, you know. But they're saying to the Western audience that is what oud smells like, and it's patronising and shit, you know. I'd be pretty fucking enraged. What are you? Get off. Woof woof. There's a dog somewhere. Woof. Oh, so no, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Middle Eastern style perfumes, but I'm also not a fan of the way that the West has co-opted Middle Eastern style perfumes and tried to present them either. You know? I've used it quite a bit, Gumroad, says Jordan. Gumroad is great for buying assets from our industry. Concept art and illustration, fantastic. So it's not like a... like a knockoff site. MS Bit, my goodness, how are you? Enjoying the show, Rich, been on a deep hiding. Well, I'm glad you've come to say hello. It has been a long time. I hope you are well. It is nice to see notes of future frags. Oud, rose, spice. Same here, going to get on that Rose de Jamal roll on, but just not yet. Yes, yes, yes. Carl Anderson is wearing Gardenia, the only Les exclusive Eugene doesn't have, and I still don't know why. You can think of Gumroad like an a la carte version of Patreon. Rather than month-to-month membership, it's per item. Okay. How to sell off your escape from today's world. Yes. Your distraction from the world of today is Carl Anderson, says Mitra. Mitra Carl is not an older woman with a fat arse. You mean you don't want the projection and sillage of a 1 mile radius, Doc? I would like it, but I would like it to be a nice fragrance too. Welcome, Rachel. How are you? It sucks, but he can always start over. Nothing wrong with starting from scratch again. It might be a nice challenge for him. I think it's a daunting prospect, yes. I agree, it would be a challenge, but the problem is you would have to spend a lot more money just to stand still. To get back anything remotely resembling the collection he's got at the minute, he would probably have to spend about 4 or 5 times as much money as he did the first time round. Does that make sense? We got in there early. We got in there, well, not early, but we got in there pre fucking insanity. Especially with the vintage stuff. I've bought 4 or 5 perfumes off him. You know? But he is selling things, but I gave him good money for them as well, you know? Like I say, I just wanted to get some money in his pocket. Like, he wanted money for fucking day-to-day living costs. I think we should set up a GoFundMe, just try and raise a bit of money for him. Like. Glad to be able to drop by for a few minutes, says Rachel. It is nice to see you. I have a student teacher who is teaching my last class. Rachel is doing an education. Woof. Welcome, Robes. 100% what, Rich? I want me a good French perfume, a modern day Mitsuka. Get that manure smelling thing out of here. I do have a manure smelling thing, but just the one. I don't want a collection full of them. Does that make sense? I haven't been lucky to talk to you in a while, says Rachel. That's cool. I'll always be here. We'll get Rachel on for a stream. We've been threatening to do this this video about this graph that she found, and I actually think it's very interesting. My son is getting good at chess. He actually beat me fair and square last week. How cool. Chess master. Rube says I'm wearing that Rosenquist today, freshly unboxed. I wasn't a fan of Rosenquist. I didn't like the leather. The leather to me felt a bit flat pack, as if it was like one. It was like, do you know those prefabricated bases that some perfume houses have, where it's like a chemical where it's like an ingredient that smells like a few different things, and it felt like Jean-Claude Lehner did that thing that he does in the Hermes Essence, right? Like this, Vetiver Tonka. The amount of times I've described this, but I'll tell you, right? So, Vetiver Tonka. It smells like vetiver, and it smells like tonka. And then the two notes are joined in the middle by this hazelnut note, and it's kind of like the structure of an H. So one pillar is vetiver, the other pillar is tonka, and then the H across the middle is the hazelnut. And that feels like what Jean-Claude Lehner has done with Rosenquist. I didn't like the leather note. I thought the leather note was a bit naff. Loads of people love it though. I know Eugene's a big fan. Weston says, hi, Rich chat. Centre that is Pomosia EDP. Welcome, Weston. Rachel says, good videos on Robes Awake recently. Yes. I might try that. By Roja, says Tool. I'm not sure to have your videos are on my autoplay. You dope, Ram. So my autoplay on fucking YouTube's just been like turning itself on. It does me bloody head in because I'm like, I'm watching something and then it just starts playing something else and I'm like, oh, what? Dushan, I just unboxed it and it was a huge curveball immediately. However, it's such an artistic piece. Very green. Rose and Queer doesn't smell very well structured in my opinion, says Tool. I hated Rose and Queer, says Mitra. The leather in Rose and Queer is isobutylquinoline. I like it. Well, isobutylquinoline is like the vintage leather note that everybody talks about. It's in Derby. It's in loads of different things. But in Rose and Queer, it feels very naked. It feels very, very naked. It smells like isobutylquinoline with nothing else. You know, as if he's just gone plop, isobutylquinoline, plop, rose. The leather and rose are sorry. Hey Rachel, did you get the newest Harari's book? I have not. Do you recommend it? Tool says Jean-Claude Leonard did better in Hermes. I think Dominique would be the prince for Frederic Malle. Well, Dominique's an old man. Actually, funny you mention that because I've got those L'Entrepiste fragrances. I'm sure that's Dominique Ropion's line. So, it's... I'm not particularly looking forward to it. I've heard things. I think Perfumer's own brands are shit, actually. Michel Amarac's was one of the better ones, and I still think that wasn't very good. They need someone to tell them what to do. That creative tension, you know. Rosa Queer is great, says Drophouse. Richard, have you sold that Tardas yet, says Carl. Yes, I have, Carl. Sold it. Fuh, says Carl. Fuh. Rob says, yeah, you can't look at it as a rose and leather. It's green, it falls as a leather and even a rose. It's tomato leaf, geranium, galbanum, green, dewy, blackcurrant, more green. It's beautiful. I haven't smelled it in a while, actually. Maybe I'll go back and smell it. I won't spray it on my skin, though. I must admit, I sprayed that Bengal Rouge on my skin today. It turned into vanilla paste. So it smelled like, just smelled like vanilla, creamy vanilla, you know, warm vanilla ice cream that's melted. I wasn't a fan. Is Vetiver Tonka your favourite Hermes besides Paddock? I'd say Vetiver Tonka might be at the top, actually. I think Vetiver Tonka, if I'm being honest, because I think you can wear Vetiver Tonka anytime, any place, anywhere. You know? There's also no rose and queer. It's all geranium. I'm a fan, says Tim. Is Queer Vetiver by Yves Rocher similar to Vetiver Tonka? Pass, Marcus Vogel. Sorry. Not as familiar with Vetiver, Queer Vetiver as I am with Vetiver Tonka. L'Entrepiste is shite. Smell them now. Not worth the video, says Carl. No, I'll do a video. I'll do a video so that if anybody's searching for them, they can actually find the video and then see what you think. You know, they're good references. Smelled them all and they were shit, says Mitra. I feel like Pradeep today, hating everything, says Mitra. Hello, Jonathan. How are we? You can also wear Provost Samarkand for any occasion, says Dushan. The IBQ is very thin, like Duck said. It's missing other materials to give it some oomph. Elena stripped it down. It's no Knees 10. Yeah, it is. It feels very naked, doesn't it? It feels very bare and exposed. Like, it's very there. And that's it. And then it's got this rosy note next to it. That's how it comes off to me. It's rose and leather and nothing else. I don't really get much else. I'm not a fan. I wasn't a fan of Rose and Queer. What was I a fan of? I'm a fan of loads of them. I might wear Iris Poudre soon. I was looking at French Lover today as well. I wore Pavarotti this week too. Fuck, I fucking love that shit so much. I love... What else was I going to keep going to wear? Viking. I think Viking's got a massively fucking, like, it's got a fucking... It's got a bad rep. It doesn't deserve the rep that it got when it came out. It got slaughtered when it came out. Also, it could be in response to Nigel's Gallop. I wasn't a fan of Gallop either. Loads of people love Gallop, and I like the smell. Wearing it's a different question. I think Gallop, right, is the rose from Mur Eglantine and the leather from Cuir d'Ange. Cuir d'Ange. Don't watch my review, then wear it. I know you'll see it. I shall. Mitra. Fatty confirmed, says Germs. First batch of Vikings really nice. That's everybody says that. Everybody says the 2017 is much better than the rest. I don't know that I buy into the whole Creed batch thing. It's mental. Brought him like some Spoturnos. I'm going to pick up my sample set tomorrow. The fucking prices are scandalous. Carl is backing up Duchamp's claim of the first batch of Viking being really nice. Gallop is beautiful. I didn't like Gallop, I must admit. I was a little bit of a headache from Gallop. Gallop didn't make any sense on me. It's a refined feminine scent. I say it's strictly for women, says Spaced Out. Yeah, I think it's a female fragrance, personally, too. Same, Pavarotti is so good. I love Pavarotti. It's such a good fragrance, that. Guerlain is just tiptoeing with their Oriental collections. They want to attract the Middle Eastern clients. Well, don't know how to make Guerlain Middle Eastern. Yes. He galloped for my co-worker. His nickname is Horse. Guerlain acting beta with their Orientals for real, says Tool. Guerlain should just do what Guerlain does. You know? That's what they're for. They're the arch French perfume brand, and they've completely fucked it. They've completely fucked it. I loved Gallop initially, but it turned on me, and the weird chemical quince became ever more dominant. I sold it. Sold mine to Fliss as well, yeah. Jared says, I have a 17 batch of Viking. Going to wear it tomorrow. I've got a 17 batch of Viking. I smelled the other ones as well. It doesn't smell that bad. Oh, I guess I have a premiere on my channel. Oops. Guess I should probably head over there. Bye, Duck. See you later, man. I still prefer RDJ. I forget what that is. I haven't smelled the new Viking, I got to say, but I bet it's really good, says Carl. Bye, Brobes. Now that all the dicks have gone, hi, Rich. Hi, Karen. Daria. Spinster Long. How does it take Rose de Jamal, sorry. How does Rose de Jamal compare to other Rose Soliflors? I love Rose de Jamal, and I don't think it's a Rose Soliflor either. I get the fucking mint in it is fucking sensational. If I was Eugene and I was having a fragrance made by them, I would be like, give me the mint. Give me the mint. You know? I don't know what else I would do, but I'd be like, "Whoa, the fucking mint. It's got to be the mint." I love fucking Rose de Jamal. It's one of the best smelling fragrances I own. Like, soon Delphine will start belly dancing for Arab shades. It's me, sure. Welcome, Dino Baggio. How are you? Have you tried Diptyque Orpheon and Papier? I've tried Low Papier. I've tried Low Papier, and it's nice, but I would never wear it. It's got a weird texture. And Orpheon, I have tried it, but I can't remember it, but I didn't like it enough to buy it. The bell is going to ring, so I've got to run. Bye, friends. Hugs. See you later, Rachel. Everyone is leaving. Brian says they released a Rose de Jamal Absolute. Yes, yes, yes. I'll buy. Don't you worry about that. I'll be getting the Orange Sirocco one as well. I nearly wore that today. It's fucking love that shit so much. I think it's a summer fragrance though. Make sure just tell me where to watch, says James. Tim says, what is it with Creed and batches? Are they that incompetent that they keep changing each fragrance? So the Aventus batch code wankery is as such. When they realised they had a massive, massive hit on their hands in Aventus, right? What he did was they started tinkering with the formula to make it cheaper and cheaper to increase the balance sheet, to make the balance sheet look better, to get the price of the company up for when he went to sell it. And he got $1 billion. And that $1 billion, I can tell you, 90% of that was based on Aventus. I'm almost certain of it. At least. And that was why the quote-unquote batch code thing, the batch variations, it wasn't the natural ingredients. That's bollocks. Loads of companies use fucking batch code. Their batches like natural ingredients and shit, and their fragrances don't change as wildly as that. They were changing it on purpose. They were cheapening it so the balance sheet looked better. That is my opinion. Loads of the GCMS as well that came back. Loads of companies did GCMS on it. Loads of perfumers have turned around and said this is a different material. It's bollocks. And we obviously know Olivia Creed to be a nefarious bastard. You know? Where are we? What is it with Creed? Rose de Jamal is a bit of the base from Amber Supreme to me. I love it, says Jordan. Could be ambergris. I will dance with myself, says Mr. K. Now that I has a fat ass. I'm good, mate. Hope you're well, and well done on Newcastle winning the cup. I know it's not called that anymore. Yes. Yes. It was a pretty emotional time, that. JCH did say when he put in a Jean-Claude Huchlier did say what he put in Aventus in his Facebook interview. Make sure it's only fair. You ladies have coal, we have nothing. I'll subscribe, says James. You have Duchan. Have you tried any Diptyque bath products or L'Occitane? No, but I am reliably informed that they are fantastic and doing really well. L'Occitane especially. I did buy a couple of candles from L'Occitane recently, actually. I bought a lavender one and a vervain one. So once this Huile de Lavant has been used up, which won't be too long because I burn the shit out of this stuff. It's fantastic. And then I will move on to the L'Occitane ones. I read Jean-Claude... I read JCH as Jean-Claude Helena. Yes. Yes, I did as well. Jonathan says his fragrance of the day is mon numero 10. Will Pierre Bourdon create a new fragrance sometime? Don't know. I think he's firmly retired. Apparently he makes fragrances for a brand in Germany that gets sold on German QVC. He just does it quietly, just because he likes to keep his hand in, you know. Oh, I've got an itchy back. My back scratches mint. Yes. Hope his nose is still good, says Karen. Have we tried anything he's made recently? No, personally, I haven't. I don't think that he's made any like widely released perfumes recently, to be honest, which is a shame. I know Eugene wanted to get in touch with him and use him as a perfumer. Well, that was the dream anyway. L'Occitane Vervain shower gel, lovely. Yes, the L'Occitane Vervain stuff is absolutely glorious. Like, Dino says L'Occitane discontinue the ones I like. Apparently, the lavender harvest in the south of France, especially L'Occitane, has been fucking decimated recently. Pestilence, pests, all round general evil. Oh. The whole thing has been a nightmare, and that's why they've discontinued the cologne, you know? There it is. Okay, put that in a bit. Oh, fuck off. Oh! Friends, if you would like to like the stream, now would be the time. Thank you very much. Do you go nose blind to scented candles, or do you keep smelling it while it's burning? Comes and goes. Comes and goes, you know. It comes and goes. Ooh, that's hot, hot, hot. That's hot, hot, hot. Going to use my trusty tool that the gardener's bought me for my birthday to trim the wax. Yes. There we go. Waiting on Pierre Bourdon, never this Latafa collapse. Vauxhall Jim says, Aventus is neither as great as the wankers say nor as shit as others says. It's just quite good. I maybe wear it once every couple of months. I thought it was all right. I did not get the fucking, the raging hype for it, though. And I had a couple of older batches as well. Do you still have your L'Occitane Lavande? You used it? Will the lavender harvest affect brands like Guerlain, Frenchie, etc.? Well, Frenchie's been discontinued. By the way, they discontinued Oud Palau from Diptyque. That's outrageous. No, why do beautiful things have to get tainted by anything, says Tool. That is the law of entropy, the second law of thermodynamics. All things tend toward entropy. In a closed system, all things tend towards entropy. Karen J, be nice to Dahlia, says Dushan. For real, says Karen. 56 watching and 31 likes. The man does this for free. Like the stream. Karen says, Dahlia is dead, Dushan. Long live Karen. Now maybe Roger does. Is available to perfume other brands when he is done with his own. I would have him as an assessor, but not if he's claiming he's a perfumer. It would be like written into the contract. You cannot claim you created this perfume. You can curate it, You can assess it. Tell girl, Dino says, tell girl on to come to my works. We sell French lavender. Can't promise it will be the same quality, though. Public shaming helps Karen, says Mitra. I know it does, says Karen. Red hair Karen. Aventus is shit, bro. That's crazy defending it. I'm a brunette, Duchamp, says Karen. There was a dude in a Facebook group selling 250 ml of 2015 Oud Isfahan the other day. Shite. Actually, there was a long time ago, there was actually a rumour going about that the Oud Isfahan, because of the changing climate in Isfahan, they actually had to use a different kind of rose. Or that the rose harvest wasn't great, which made me think, can you remember when people talked about the fucking Iranian galbanum in one of the Chanels and how they had to stop using it because of the restrictions the Americans put on when the revolution happened? So how come they can use Iranian rose, but they can't use Iranian galbanum? A very interesting conundrum, you know? An interesting conundrum. Curious and curiouser and curiouser, some might say. Ooh! Ooh, yeah! Oh, yeah. I'm a brunette. Homogeneous dessert of the night. Vanilla pudding, says Duchamp. I have a fragrance called Ghost Man, done by Pierre Baudin. Actually really nice. The fragrance name is curious, isn't it? Yes, it is. Ghost Man. Aventus smells nice, says Karen. Smells nice, yeah. Is there any fragrance that you have hidden until the autumn winter but would like to smell it sooner? All of them. After about 5 months, every single one of them. You know, Balenciaga Pour Homme. But what is it? What is it that makes the heart grow fonder? Distance. Parting makes the heart grow fonder. That's why I split my perfume collection in half. I miss these. I'm still relishing wearing all of these that you see before you. You know, like there's plenty of these. I haven't worn a Ketos yet. You know, I've just rediscovered Incense Rose. You know, there's perfumes that I've worn loads before in previous years that I haven't been wearing this year. It's really interesting. You know, it's really, really interesting. I love it. I really like the way I've got my fragrances all divvied up. Bois d'Argent and Gaillac 10 may be my most worn fragrances of all time. Both are very complex and always keep me interested. Excellent. I love Bois d'Argent. The older Bois d'Argent's incredible. Aventus smells like the attractive brother of Dior Sauvage, says RN. You are a fucking unusual young man with your opinions and such. Do folks sense a difference between the older version packaging of L'Occitane Eau de Beau and the new packaging? Yeah, it was definitely reformulated. It was definitely reformulated between the 100 ml and the 75 ml. But it's still nice. It's still a good perfume. I still like it. It's just different. You know, L'Occitane's a really good brand. Massively, massively underexposed, underrated, under-talked about. It's a fucking tremendous brand. I fucking love it. Number 19? Could be, yes. Says Mitra. Indeed. Jared says, Tool, don't be a tool now. Aventus is pretty good. It changed the game. When you smell that Aventus Cierge in the air, somebody, it's just intoxicating. Not for me. I think it smells nice, but I don't think it was ever the fragrance people were making it out to be. I always found other stuff much more interesting. I felt like I'd smelled Aventus loads of times before. It just never clicked. Like, the same with Richie G as well, strangely. Like, Richie G, me and him would spray it on ourselves. Like, and this was before the went to the 100ml bottles as well. This was like the 75. You're going back 10 years. We'd go in and smell it and we'd be like, fucking hell, everybody's fucking, this is like the biggest fragrance in the world at the minute. And we'd smell it and be like, it's all right. And this is when it was like, what, 200 quid at retail? Just, it's not worth it, mate. Until I'm hearing you guys out. Event is better than Sauvage. That's just insane. I mean, I don't like either of them. I mean, I hate fucking Sauvage. The Johnny Depp one, it's foul. Ventus is much better than Sauvage. And I don't really care for a Ventus, to be honest. I got complimented by a woman wearing a Ventus from a sample, so I guess that works in that sense. I never wore it, nor bought it since. Fool-aid, man, says Karen. Have you tried any Japanese fragrance brands? Is that Aesop not a Japanese fragrance brand? Hi, Karen, I'm back, says Robes. Welcome, Robes. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. That's right, charming man. Cringe, says Karen. What are we cringing at? I'm back. I'm losing my mind here. Aventus? Well, Rich has a table of perfume. Insanity, says Tool. Horace used to do that, says Karen. Ooh. I'm getting scared. Maybe because the Americans thought galbanum was a key component in nuclear weapons. I mean, this was fucking nearly 40 years ago. Like, I don't think the Iranians had embarked. I mean, A.Q. Khan hadn't been outed as the man spreading nuclear fucking plans across the fucking planet. The terrible cunt. Genuinely one of the worst human beings of the second half of the 20th century. I nearly said the 20th century there and then realised what I was saying. A.Q. Khan. Look up A.Q. Khan and the shit that cunt got up to. The reason North Korea has a bomb, the reason Iran's nearly got a bomb, the reason fucking all these fucking dirty bastards across the world have got nuclear weapons is because of a guy called A.Q. Khan, the shithouse. Maybe because the Americans thought galbanum was a key component in nuclear weapons. Women love Aventus and Sauvage. It's just the fact, says Spaced Out. I think you'll find men like it more than women. That was always the thing, wasn't it? You know? It's that was always the claim, wasn't it? It was a boxer dropper, not a panty dropper. Hi, waffle, says Karen. Franska boy says, I smelled a Ritzia Legrand recently. More than interesting, says Franska. I actually have an Aritzia Legrand sample set over there, and I dropped it today. A moment of frantic grasping went on, but it still hit the deck. Hi, I would like to speak to your manager, says Waffle. I am her manager. What is up? Says Mitra. Papillon Salome scared me. Smells like the middle of intercourse. Too challenging for me. Liz Moore's made it, though. What's up her ass, MK? Please explain, says Robes. Whose ass? Australian. What's this? Australian ass? Hi, Nick S. How are we? Wearing Gucci, Cerruti, sorry, not Gucci, Cerruti 1881 Pour Homme. Scent of the evening is Eau de Guerlain. Eau de Guerlain, which one's that? Is that the mint one? Because that one's really nice. Do you know you used to be able to pick them up at discounters for like 30 quid? There was Cologne Imperial, which is still to this day one of the best fragrances I've ever smelled. Just based on the smell alone. Incredible scent. Eau de Guerlain was the minty one, I'm pretty sure. There was Cologne de Coq, lol. There was... I'm sure there's another one, but honestly, those fragrances are absolutely sensational. Douche shivers, says Karen. The public will reek of Louis Vuitton this spring and summer. Imagination is the next victim of the fuckboys. I actually think it is already been the victim of the fuckboys. I think it has been co-opted. It is done. Where are we? Absinthe makes the heart grow fonder. Yes, 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 yes. What's your top 3 fragrances with cologne written in the name? Oh, Jesus. Cologne Imperial is one of them. Probably the best one. Oh, God. Cologne Officinale is another one. Cologne Royale. I really love Cologne Royale, you know. There's a 450ml on eBay, but it's not the separated CD version, and I'm scared. I am scared. The one about 300 quid for it, which is what I paid for me, which is what I was paying for me 450ml about 10 years ago, so. I'm intrigued. I am intrigued. I love that shit so much. Iran's nuclear facilities were founded prior to 1979, actually. It could be that they had the power facilities, but I don't think the bomb was. The bomb was started after the 90s because they needed AQ Khan to give them the fucking plans, because all the centrifuges they've got are all based on his schematics. Look into AQ Khan. He's an absolutely terrible, terrible fucking person. He was going around the world selling nuclear bomb blueprints to governments for $100 million a pop. Gaddafi, the one in North Korea, them nutcases, Iran, fucking, oh God, there was someone else as well, and I can't remember. They're the ones who actually bought it. He was selling them to people in Geneva for like the highest bidder. You know what I mean? Well, not even the highest bidder. He was just selling them to anyone. He's a fucking lunatic. He's the guy who built the Pakistani bomb. And he was working in the Netherlands, and he stole the fucking schematics for certain nuclear components and stuff like that. Nuclear proliferation on a fucking... That's the man. Him right there. And you've got fucking India and Pakistan who are dying to bomb each other every chance they get. That's the British's fault as well, by the way. I should never have partitioned India. They were fine as they were. The public will reek. Anyway, I'm fucking getting off into madnesses here. I had Ebony, but I fell out of love with it. About as rapidly as I fell in love with it. A funny one. Very piney, very aromatic. Mint, pine, green leaves, fucking... Now I sound like Karen with the actually. Rage bait, get out of here, says Tool. Aesop is Australian. Well, what do I know? Compliment getter perfumes don't exist. Women compliment you because you look good, not your perfume. Well, the perfume is a good way for them to like open the conversation, you know. Oh, you smell nice. They don't come up to you and go, oh, you look nice, unless they're extremely fucking horny. Yes, it's a minty citrus aromatic. Cologne de Coq. Well, she can do a top 10 mint perfumes live stream with Eugene. I don't know that I have 10 mint perfumes, to be honest. I'm not a Karen, says Karen. I'm just a bitch. No, Eau de Guerlain is the cologne along with Imperial and Eau de Coq that has the musk at the base. No, Eau de Guerlain has the mint. Stop that. Cool, that's only half the truth. A woman will compliment you if they actually like the fragrance you wear, not if you look like fucking Boz. Agreed, 100%. Cologne de Coq, it's Guerlain, right? It is. Eau de Guerlain is great in high summer. Cologne Imperial is fucking absolutely mentally good. Egoist Cologne Concentrate. Yes, that's up there as well. Smells like the middle of intercourse made me fucking laugh, says Vauxhall Jim. Yeah, no bomb. Etrogoma Cologne version. I've got that. I am the bomb, says Mitra. Now I sound like Duchamp, says Mitra. I think Monardo fragrances always seem like they are the hardest to figure out. They're hazy and mysterious. Egoist, egoist. Egoist, egoist. True spaced out, even something linear like Lolita Lempicka is complicated and interesting, says Karen. Yeah, I rate Annick Monardo. She should have got an in-house perfume job somewhere. Should have done a fucksite better at Dior than what's his chops has, Francis Kirkjohn. He's only there because of Baccarat Rouge. Patel Philippe! Rich Mitch, on this topic, what's the best blue fragrance to wear whilst having a lassie in Geneva? Well. What an interesting concept. A blue fragrance for Geneva with a woman. Because it's Geneva and it's expensive, right? I would go with, and I've talked about this brand ad nauseum to the watch people, I'd go with this. It's called Ambre Supreme. Now, it smells like a blue fragrance, but it doesn't look blue and it doesn't have blue in the name. But if you smell it, you'll know exactly what I mean. Oh, it's sea salty. I love that shit so much. Has some immortelle, a bit of warmth. It's very inviting. It's expensive as fuck. They will appreciate, especially in Geneva. Jonathan, will you try the Spoturnos? I'd like to try them, but the state of the fucking price for the samples is disgusting. It's like 6 samples for like 70 odd quid, and it's like It's not like I can't afford it, but I don't want to reward that fucking. I don't want to reward that behaviour with money. You know what I mean? Spaced Out says, Karen, I'm recently wearing her Gaiac 10. Seems simple at first, but it changes and seems to have more details than on first glance. Spoturnos. Spoturnos is that new brand that Christopher Sheldrake has done all the perfumes for, Jonathan. Yes, perfume is good, but we can smell the bullshit from a mile away. Hey, some like the look of bars. Really? Mitra, I agree with you on bars. Sadly, that's just the harsh reality of life. Mitch, I agree with you on bars. Sadly, it's his weird personality as well. What else have you been hiding from us, Dahlia, says Mitra. Abdulaziz, how are you, sir? Rob says 100%, Mitra. BS is easy to smell. Karen says, I need to try that out. There's a fair few she does that I love. I wonder if Annick made any Celine fragrance. It smells like she did. Smells like she did, absolutely. Did he mean the lassie or the drink of a lady? Did he mean lassie the drink or a lady? Maybe lassie the dog. Please do. It's a must try. Best Woody Musk ever made. I checked from my perfumer friend lab and they should be doing a few mil of Balenciaga Pour Homme. I'll let you know how it turns out, says Franska. I'd get, what's his name to do it. I know Sandra was contacting a guy who said he had a bottle of Balenciaga Pour Homme in France, who had actually contacted me before, like a modern bottle of Balenciaga Pour Homme, but he spoke French. And I was like, I don't really want to give this random man my address, you know. Not because he spoke French, but because like he contacted us and like, oh, give us your address and I'll send you some modern Balenciaga Pour Homme. I was like, I smell anthrax, you know. But Sandra was like, oh, like I spoke to him, I know him. So we'll see. Best blue fragrance? Le Bleu. Ah ha ha, joke. Amber Supreme is a quiet scent. Amber Supreme's fucking brilliant, like. Going to the gym for fat ass therapy, says Mitra. I have a flat ass. Mitra, you'd go by a different name if you had mine too, says Karen. I can smell some in here, actually. Sniff, sniff, says Robes. I really need to get my hands on Les and de Madame, but you really do. Check your fingers, Robes, says Karen. Mitra, please don't ruin it if it's fat, says Dushan. By the way, Sheldrake is retiring. Don't say shit like that. Don't say things like that. Jesus Christ, stop that. Is that true? That is painful. Surely not. Mitra says, what's going on, children? Let's be nice. Okay, got it, we'll see. Mitra, no, let it grow. I did, they wrong. Yes, they were inside you, perhaps, says Offenlicht says, good evening. Hope everyone is well. Welcome, Offenlicht. How are you? Tool says, Sheldrake done his 30-year sentence in Luton's dungeon. He was, what was he doing? He was in the Iron Maiden. He's got a perfume called the Iron Maiden. You know, like the torture device with the spikes. Oh. Excuse me. I must have dramatically lowered my standards without realising, says Karen. Is there an Iris ambergris perfume? I've never seen one. Yes, is Mousse de Sable not one? Well, kids, I'm off to wasabi for dinner. Cheers, friends. Oh, I'm hungry now. I had a burger earlier. It was very nice. Fuck Sheldrake for Eve ever been a part of a house that prices sample sets like that? I'm sure that was his idea. What's his proof for having contact with the Balenciaga Pour On perfumer? Trust me, bro. I saw this guy with a modern bottle. He's supposed to have met the guy. I think he's legit, but it's not related to him. My boss's friend's got chromatography of Balenciaga Pour On because he loves it, so it's easy to do some ML. Yeah, Sheldrake stops. That's bonkers. Maybe I don't slap life in the face for giving you a beautiful gift, says James. Retiring at Chanel, big paycheck, no work. He was like the he became a little bit like the curator, the master of ingredients, wasn't he? He's the one who planted all the iris for the Les Exclusives line. Like, there's an interview with him where he's like, oh, like when they decided to become vertically integrated, he was the one who basically managed to get all of the infrastructure in place for them to get like their iris production up to speed, because the whole line's based on iris. Apart from stuff like Coromandel and Sycamore and a couple of the other ones, they're all iris fragrances. And there's this interview with him. It's on YouTube somewhere. And he's talking about the iris. And it's very interesting because he was like, in another interview, there was a guy and he was like, this guy was saying to him, oh, would you like go back to Serge Lutens? He's like, look, if Serge Lutens wants us, I'm there. How could I say no to Serge Lutens? Got to be one of the most fruitful partnerships in the history of perfume, that. And the him with Jacques Polge, because it was him and Jacques Polge that came. Well, it was him that came up with the Les Exclusives, the ability to make the Les Exclusives. Because I've seen an interview with Jacques Polge. No, I've seen another interview with Christopher Sheldrake where he said, "Oh, I was speaking to Jacques Polge and I asked him if there were any jobs going at Chanel, and Jacques Polge said, bear with us, not at the minute, but if there is, I'll let you know." And then one day out the blue, he rang him and said, "There's a job going at Chanel, do you want it?" And he said yes, and the job was to be the master of the ingredients. But he also worked on perfumes with Polge as well. And you can tell, you can absolutely tell. I got samples of the whole Les and Demolable lineup today, says Often Lick. Keep us up to date. The bluest I own is blue from Ashmon. It's like blue paint, positively and negatively. International Klein Blue. Mousse de Sable does have Iris Absolute and Ambergris. Absolutely, no doubt. Rich, this is what happens when you don't stream often. Chat gets a bit of deranged quality. Yes, I have been a little bit. I've been having a bit of a fucking time of it recently. I don't particularly want to get into it, but I've definitely not been in the mood for streaming and making videos this last week. Antoine Lee, the best perfumer of this era. It has to be him, says Tool. It doesn't. I mean, certainly while he's been at Les and Demolable, he's put out the best stuff. He's the best active perfumer at the minute. You know, it's match made in heaven, like, using those materials and making those perfumes with that direction from them. But I don't know if he's the best perfumer of his era, because you'd have to go with everybody who's in his generation, and there's a lot, you know. I don't think that I would be comfortable saying that it was just him based on just the Les and Demolable. He did Armani Code, which was a massive perfume, but I didn't particularly like it. He did some of them Hubegant as well, which I didn't really care for. But when he's working for Les and Demolable, it's just perfect. Sober to death. I know the feeling. Has Jean-Claude Elena officially retired? Dude is old. Well, I don't know that, because it's a vocation for those people. I don't know that they ever stop. You know? Kind of like Einstein. Einstein was working on the day he died, man. You know? Nurse went away, had his papers by the side of his bed, came back and he was dead. Just had his fucking papers there. That's how those type of people are. It's a vocation, you know. Some people work to live, some people live to work. Let's bring it down a notch, says Mitra. Drop out, give Christina my love. I'm here, Dahlia. Lots of love back for you too. Gross, says Robes. Christina, I can't read that. Often Licked says Antoine Lee's Eldo stuff is also great. Yes, it is. Rienne, clean suede and odor protection. Rienne's fantastic. Rienne's fucking fantastic. I love that shit so much. Nice vid on Papillon, Rich. Are you doing Dryad? I will be in the next one, yes. Je suis un homme. Einstein was a workaholic. Yes, he was. He OCD'd, yes. Elena is phenomenally versatile perfumer, proper modern genius, says Nick. I disagree. I disagree with that statement. I don't think he is that versatile. He has made a large amount of different scents, but you can always, always, always tell it's a Jean-Claude Elena. He has a style. I think in that regard, as far as adaptability and versatility, Pierre Bourdon is wildly clear. Pierre Bourdon has made the greater breadth of perfume. I think Jean-Claude Elena is brilliant, but I think he's just below. I think he's just below genius level, which is where I would put Pierre Bourdon. I would put Pierre Bourdon as a genius perfumer for the sheer. He's made everything from Good Life to Kouros. Fucking Cool Water, Green Irish Tweed. He's made he's changed perfume by himself a number of times. Now, Jean-Claude Elena has also done that, but maybe only once with Terre de Hermes. Whereas Pierre Bourdon has done it multiple times. He's defined generations of perfumers. Not only that, Pierre Bourdon's students continue to change perfume. Jacques Huchelier, who created Aventus, right? Now, I said I didn't really care for Aventus in that I didn't think it was as wow as everybody seems to think, but it completely changed perfume. That is true. Who taught Jacques Huchelier how to be a perfumer? Pierre Bourdon. Julien Rasquinet. Pierre Bourdon was his teacher. The reach, the difference that Pierre Bourdon has made is just more. And I think that Elena is brilliant. I really do. He very much is, and he's very stable, and he established a style of perfume, and he's consistent. Hits the nail every single time, you know? Every time. But he is not as adaptable or as... He's not as adaptable or as versatile as Bourdon. You know, you may like more of Elena's stuff, which is you may very well like them. They're easier to like, in fact. But I think that you look at Bourdon's body of work, and it's much more wide and varied and impactful. Well, maybe not impactful, because of what Elena did at Hermes, but it's he's also a slightly tragic figure as well, which I'm quite a fan of. Don't stop mentioning your butt. Vet of a Tonka is Elena's masterpiece. Who's number one? Number one perfumer. Oh, God. Probably Rudnitska. Polge could be up there. Polge the Elder. I don't like looking at people's bodies of work until they've either retired. Sports stars. I look at sports stars, right, and I think, right, I'm not judging you. It's like people are like, oh, Messi's the best player ever, Ronaldo's the best player ever. I'm like, well, wait until they've both stopped and I'll tell you. Wait until they've both stopped playing and I'll tell you who I think the best is. By the way, the answer is Zinedine Zidane. The same with perfumers. Once it's over and it's finished, and you have to look at stuff like Rudnitska. Rudnitska built modern perfume, like the Guerlains, like numerous Guerlains. You could make an argument for Jean-Paul Guerlain, you know, and the people he had working with him. To be fair, like Sheldrake's a personal favorite, but is he one of the best perfumers ever? I mean, he's one of them, but I don't think he's the best. Bourdon's up there. You're talking about Bourdon made Cool Water and Koros within, 5 years of each other? That's fucking mental. Annick Minardo is a brilliant, brilliant perfumer, but she made Jaipur Pour Homme and Bois d'Argent within 5 years. She made Boss Bottled and Bois d'Argent within 10 years of each other. The leaps between those two perfumes are not as great as the leaps between Koros and Cool Water in 5 years. You know? It's almost as if Pierre Bourdon was sprinting as fast as he could in one direction and then stopped and turned around and started running in the opposite direction as fast as he could. And they're the two perfumes he came out with. That remains to me, in that time frame, a bonkers about face. Like, literally, those two perfumes are at right angles to each other. They have absolutely nothing to do with each other. Then he made Jupe Homme for his sins. Fucking, which is again completely different. You know, that created, I mean, Cool Water created basically the 90s aesthetic. Cool Water came out in 86, didn't it? Or was it 88? Doesn't matter, really, if you think about it. They came out in the same decade, bollocks. If it wasn't 5 years, it was fucking, it was that, whatever. Cool Water and Jupe Homme came out in the same year, or one after the other. The ripples of his influence are vastly more propagated than Elena's, in my opinion. Yves Klein was mentioned, says Tim, at his first exhibition of an all-white gallery containing nothing the visitors to the opening drank the wine which contained a chemical that turned their piss blue. Get in. Yves Klein, fantastic. Died of a fucking heart attack. Well, he fucking had a massive fucking heart attack in his 30s. Thought, bollocks, I'm going to the cinema. Had another massive heart attack and died. First to Eau de Campagne, to de Hermes, drastically different compositions. Different smells, same structure. Smell them again next to each other. Bear that in mind. Very different smells, very similar structures. Yeah, great points. Fat bottom metros, you make the perfume world go round. Christina, I missed your face. Bourdon had more impact in terms of popular fragrance, but there's less stylistic variation. I disagree with that massively. Bourdon still waiting on his suits from Creed. Yeah, that's part of the tragic thing I was talking about. Olivia Creed's a terrible cunt. I hate him for what he did to Pierre Bourdon. Fucking scandalous twat. Jean-Claude Elena has said he doesn't want to make a powerful bomb perfume. It's not to his likeness. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Be spot on. And he should stick to it. Not everybody should be the same. What I really like is that both of those perfumers came from Rudnitska. They studied at the same time with Rudnitska, and they're both completely different perfumers. I think that's remarkable. And I think it's brilliant. This is one of the reasons why I said Rudnitska is probably the best of the second half of the 20th century. JCE is kind of hard to like unless you like cumin. I associate ISO-E Super with JCE, to be honest, rather than that, because it's a lot of his perfumes have that big airiness in them. Jacques Guerlain is number one. He's up there. Jacques and Jean-Paul and Henri Robert are my favourites. All brilliant. The Zidane headbutt. Zinedine Zidane in 1998 won the World Cup with 2 headers for France. 8 years later, he was in the final playing against Italy and headbutted someone in the chest, Marco Materazzi. And Marco Materazzi didn't particularly say anything to him. Everyone was like, oh my God. Has Marco Materazzi said something about the guy's mother? Has he said something racist? Has he said something this or that? Apparently it was nothing. Like, just said, hey, Zidane, you've got no hair, or some shit like that. And Zidane was just having a bad day. He was just like, fuck off. There was a film crew who was following Zidane that day, and they'd been with him for about a year, maybe 6 months, and they'd been making this kind of like story about his last season, and they'd got to know him. And they said they saw him that day and they knew something was wrong. He literally woke up on the wrong side of the bed. That's what happened that day. He literally just woke up on the wrong side of the bed and thought, fuck everyone, I hate everything, and I'm sick, and fuck off. And Marco Materazzi got headbutted in the chest. I fucking love him, me. Like, I think he's great. It's the type of shit I would do. Jake 15 said, "You're telling me Bisha's not the best?" Kind of. No, but there are loads of works by E. Klein that are his creations of his estate. Says, thanks. Sorry, I don't know what that means. Dan, it's French. OC. Rich, you keep cutting in and out, says Jared. Oh no. Bish needs to be signed by Pig and end it. Take him away from Puich. Take him away from salmon. Poivre Samarkand, says JD. Bellamy, Vetiver, and Terrell very close, having made one makes the others almost redundant. Well, a Peace Marine smells like fucking a modern flanker of Eau de Hermes. 1988. I can listen to this all night, says Dropout Quack Duck. Mark, I prefer smoked salmon over Renault. Ambra Supreme on live stream is always a welcome sight to behold, says Vasa Piano Covers. Parfum's Counter Can doesn't smell anything like tear, says Karen. Hello, that's my scent of the day, by the way. Pierre Baudin has a wider palette. Are they bollocks the same structure, says Nick? Yes, this is probably that. They've got a massive, or what is it in the middle? I forget what it's called. There's something that the way that it's built. You know, I was talking earlier about the H, the Hermes H, and the Vetiver Tonka structure. So you've got the Vetiver on one side, you've got the Tonka on the other, and you've got the hazelnut in the middle, which joins them like a bridge, and it's an H shape. It's kind of what Tear's like. Tear's a little bit like that, as is Eau de Campagna, which I love, by the way. What do you think of Thierry Vassa? Good, but he's it's completely fucking. He's completely fucked at Guerlain. They've shit all over him, like. That reminds me of Sequoia by Comme des Garçons, just less boozy. Me too. Cavalier is my favourite perfumer, says Jared. Germaine Cellier deserves a mention, yes. Elena's Rose Poivre is a huge perfume. Huge! Yes, I want to see Antoine Lee and Christopher Sheldrick battle it out over a brief for the next Les Abstrais and Rich to be the judge. I couldn't take that kind of pressure. I'd buckle. I'd fold. I'd commit fucking seppuku. You know? Carl, you'd have to help us and chop me head off. I'll check that one out, Robes. It's cutting for me too. Well, don't worry, friends. Don't fucking worry. I'm going to be going in a minute. Wankers. I'm going to need a new phone soon. This phone that I've been using has started to act funny fuckers. Inbuilt obsolescence. You know? The fucking bastards. Sound is fine in the UK on my TV, says Tim. Thank you, Tim. Tool says Vassa done a great job, but is definitely restricted by the cunts above him. Yeah, he is, yeah. I wouldn't like to be his... I wouldn't like to have his job. When he took the job, it must have been the job of the lifetime, you know, to be the first non-Guerlain, to be the head of Guerlain. And then it's turned into a nightmare because LVMH is a monster. Oh, excuse me. I think Monaro should have replaced Vassa at Guerlain, says RN. Sober to death, says RQ, is Bellamy, Vetiver, summer wearable. Everything on my shortlist seems inappropriate for southern weather. I'm waiting for 2 bottles of Luciano Pavarotti. I'm hyped. Be hyped. I fucking love it. Put Biche Guerlain, says Robes, that really would end them. Fuck. Bilbo Baggins, Fair Fraggins even. What's up, big dog? Hey, chat. Hey, hope everyone is well, says Bilbo. Shut up, Bilbo, says RN. She is already there, Robes, says Mitra. Hello, Pat Lester. Just in time for me to bail. I'm going to take some poison. Christian Breitkreuz says, about Vasa, Jelk is now being credited with Homidial ADP and neurouterine. Well, who knows what's true anymore? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she hasn't been great for them either. I mean, she really is making some fucking shit perfumes there. Bish would end global warming if he involved the right way. What a disaster, says Franska. Anyway, friends, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for liking the stream. Thank you for commenting and keeping me company. I'm away to poison myself with methotrexate. I hope you have all had a nice day, a nice stream. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all again soon. Good night.